Hey everybody, it's Mr. Brown here, and today we are going to work on decomposing fractions. So students will decompose fractions. Take a second and see if you can remember what decompose means. Hopefully you can think back in your mind of what decompose means to break apart. So we're going to work about breaking apart fractions in different types of ways, okay? So let's get started. Let's talk about our warm-ups we did. We had two warm-ups. We had draw 1/4 and draw 5/7. So here's our first one. Draw 1/4. I drew my little tape diagram, my rectangle, and I'm going to cut it up into four pieces. So you see here I have four equal pieces, and then I'm going to shade one of them to give me 1/4. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you shaded, but there's one of them. Please use in the directions it says two different colors. So if you didn't use two different colors, make sure you use that now, because I should see, just like here I have my outline in black and then my shade color is a different color. If I see all one color, I don't know what you're talking about. So make sure you use two different colors. My next one's 5/7. So again, I drew uh, my tape diagram, and then I'm going to cut out 7 pieces. Okay, and I'm going to shade 5 of them. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that shows me 5/7. Okay, let's start working on what we're going to do today. So how many circles do you see here? Well, Mr. Brown, it's obvious. There's one circle. Great job. So now I want to know, how many equal parts does a circle have? There are two equal parts. That's right, okay? There are two equal parts. Here's one, here's the other. And now, what fraction of the circle is shaded? 1/2 of the circle is shaded, yes. So hopefully you're able to get that right. We have half the circle shaded. Now, is this true or false? 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1, or 1 whole. Is that true or false? Da, 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 da. Hopefully you know that's true. If I have 1/2 and then I add another half to it, I get 1 whole. Okay, so 1/2 plus 1/2, that will give me the whole thing. Our next problem is a little similar. How many circles do you see? Yeah, we see one circle, right? How many equal parts does a circle have? Well, there are 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. What fraction of the circle is shaded? Go ahead and answer that for me. The 1/4 of the circle is shaded is correct. Okay, so out of 4 pieces, I have one of them shaded, 1/4. So here's my true or false question now. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 4/4 or 1 whole. I'll read it again for you. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 4/4 or 1 whole. Is that true or false? And we should know that's true. Da, 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 da. If I have 1/4 plus another fourth plus another fourth plus another fourth, I would have 4/4, and that would give me 1 whole circle. Okay, now we're going to move on from adding fractions, that's a little review, to now decomposing fractions. Okay? So let's talk about what we're doing. Some of you might remember this from class before we went on closure. Some of you, this might be all new, and that's okay. So this right here, this bracket, shows me everything that equals 1 whole. Okay? So this whole thing is 1 whole all together. I want to know, I know that each fraction is 1/5 because it's cut into 5 pieces. So I'm going to label that 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, and 1/5. Okay, now I want to know, what is the shaded fraction? We know the shaded fraction is 2/5. We can decompose it a couple of different ways. Here's one way we can decompose it, meaning to break apart. I'm going to draw my little bracket down here and say this is 1/5. And I'm going to draw another one to say this is 1/5. That's one way I can decompose this. I can break that 2/5 apart. So we have 1/5 and another 1/5. Now we're going to write an addition sentence that will match our drawing here. Okay? So I'm going to put up my addition sentence up here in the corner. And as you see, it's all colored. So I put my 1/5 is going to go up here. My other 1/5 is going to go on this line. And I can add them together, and that will give me 2/5. So that's how I decomposed it. I took this 2/5 and I broke it apart into 1/5 plus 1/5. Let's try another one. Here is a similar fraction. Once again, the whole thing is equal to 1 because this bracket is showing me where everything is that equals to 1. So I want to know, what is each one of these parts? Go ahead and answer that. What is each unit fraction? Each unit fraction is still 1/5. So we're still working with 1/5. Now, here's one way that you can decompose this fraction. Here's one way you can break it apart. Okay, I can have a group like this. I can group it up right here. You can see my groups. Let's see if we can write an addition problem to match. So here's my problem again. I know I have 3 groups. I know in this group I have 1/5. In this group I have 1/5. And in this group I have 2/5. And you remember, because I have 2 right here. So these are 2/5. Now I'm going to make my addition sentence. So I say blank, which is 1/5, plus another 1/5 equal, or plus 2/5, I'm sorry, 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 2/5, and I can count them out. 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, it will equal 4/5. Okay. Now I want you to try some on your own. You have about 5 problems to do on your own. For the first 3, here are the directions. Label all the parts, show how I decompose the fraction, and then write an addition sentence that matches. So here we go. Label all parts of the fractions right here. You can even, I put little check boxes so you know what to do. You can label all these parts. Check. Then you can show how I decompose the fraction. So what are my groups? Remember, what does this part up top mean? That means it's always going to be same number, okay? So I put these right here, how I decomposed it, what are my groups, and then I'm going to write my addition sentence. And the same thing, I have it all colored so you know where to put it. Same thing right here, label the parts of the fraction, show how I decomposed, write an addition sentence. Okay. One more time, same thing. The next part gets a little tricky. So if you need help, please let me know and I will help you. We can set up a Google meeting where me and you talk and we can figure these out. So I want you to label the parts of the fraction again, decompose the fraction any way you want, and then write an addition sentence that matches. So here I want you to show me how you can group. First you want to label it. What is each part of this fraction? Then I want you to show me how you can decompose it. How can you make groups? And then write an addition sentence. I didn't leave you any space for it over here, so you need to draw your own stuff. 4 and 5 will walk you through that. Okay? Now I want you to try it on your own. I believe in you and you can do it. Okay? And then we'll come back to part 2 of the video.